31 days of October, week 3 is here. What's up, guys? Welcome to another week of 31 days of October. Looking forward to going over some more of my horror viewings of this last week with you guys. And of course, I have a special guest. So first, Peter from TheEpicElluminati is going to talk to you about what he watched over the last week. Take it away, Peter.
What is going on, everyone? Peter here from TheEpicElluminati, and I am taking part of Drumdum's 31 Days of October. He asked me to showcase what movies I watched from October the 11th through the 17th. I'm going to show you guys what I watched. First off, I watched What We Do in the Shadows. This is a hilarious documentary, kind of like a mockumentary film, and it shows a bunch of vampires from various ages, like one's in the Gothic period, one's from like the early 1600s, you know, all that stuff. It's hilarious. It's a horror comedy. I really suggest it. I also watched the Stanley Kubrick classic, The Shining.
Here's John C.
I will have a review up for you guys on my channel. I'm watching this in my film class, and I'm writing a film analysis on it. I also watched Alfred Hitchcock's classic Psycho. Great movie. If you haven't checked it out, go check it out. I also watched Frosty the Snowman. It's a scary movie. I also watched the classic vampire film Nosferatu.
If that was you on the phone and you on the bus, then who was flickering the lights? Nosferatu!
If you like vampire films or you just like horror in general, you have to check this movie out. It's basically what started vampire films and the vampire idea in popular society as a whole. It's a great film. Definitely check it out, and it's very short. I think it's like 40 minutes. And then the last film I watched is probably the greatest horror movie of all time. It started horror as a genre, and it's just incredible. It's The Cabinet of Dr Caligari. It came out in the 1920s, and this movie looks amazing. Set design is absolutely incredible. It's only 40 minutes, and you have to watch it. If you consider yourself a horror film, you have to watch this movie. It's amazing. Thank you, Drumdums, for having me on your episode. Check my channel out. I do movie reviews, short films, and other things. But yeah, see you guys later. Thank you.
Thank you, EpicElluminati. Those guys are awesome. Make sure you guys go down and subscribe to their channel. I'll put a link below. And now, let's talk about what I watched over the last week. Okay, guys, first thing I watched was the season premiere of The Walking Dead. And this was a really, really cool episode. As you know, last episode, Rick was pretty much telling all these this community of people who are pretty much living in La La Land, hey, you guys need to wake the hell up because shit is coming and it's right at your back door. And that's what this episode was about, was him getting prepped and telling these people, you need to learn how to defend yourselves. And that's pretty much what this whole episode was about. It kind of bounced back and forth, you know, and I kind of like how they had it in black and white, and they also had it in color to kind of represent the present day. I remember they actually aired the first season of The Walking Dead in its entirety in black and white a couple of years ago, and I didn't get a chance to watch that, but I like watching TV shows and movies in black and white just to kind of get a different vibe from them. I always thought The Crow would be really cool to watch in black and white. Next up, I watched one of my favorite movies this year, It Follows. I can't say enough great things, and if you watch my channel, you already know I love this movie. It Follows really gave the horror genre the swift kick in the ass that it has needed for so long. I mean, this movie just hits every level for me. I mean, it's not just a scary story. It's also great directing. It's also great music. It's creepy as hell. And it's a serious horror movie. There's nothing tongue-in-cheek whatsoever about it. There was literally no comedy throughout this whole movie. It is straight up horror in the style of Carpenter and Kubrick, and need I say more? It wouldn't be a horror week without at least one Halloween movie at the Drum Dum's house, and I threw in Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. And this is actually one of my favorite Halloween sequels. I just love this movie because it's so different, it's so unique. It's filmed in 16mm, it's gritty as hell. Michael Myers is completely off his rocker. I really like that Rob Zombie finally said, you know what, I'm gonna make my own Halloween movie in my style, love it or hate it. It's not a remake, it's a completely new vision by Rob Zombie. And I love that he wanted to show the aftermath of what a traumatized victim would go through giving this type of situation. And I actually thought Scout Taylor Compton did a great job in this movie. Especially if you watch the director's cut, you can really see her full performance just fleshed out. I mean, she is beaten, she's battered, and she lets it all hang out. I know a lot of people hate Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, but I make no apologies. I love this movie. Well, I guess you guys could tell by the shirt that I'm wearing that I did Bing movies this week. I did the prequel first, and this is a really, really cool movie. It's awesome. I love that the director was a huge fan of John Carpenter's classic. He went back and he kind of treated it like a crime scene. He wanted to connect all the dots in the original thing that we might have had questions about for a prequel. One thing that always interested me about the original thing is that they went to the Norwegian camp and we saw the aftermath of what had happened in the Norwegian camp, but that's all we knew. This is the movie about what happened in the Norwegian camp. And yes, it does have problems. There is way too much CGI, but I still really had a great time with this movie. And if you're a fan of the thing, then I definitely think you should check this out. And then next up, I watched Crimson Peak. I've already posted my review for Crimson Peak, but overall, I thought it was a decent movie. It had a slow start, but I thought it really paid in dividends at the end of this movie. It was so beautiful to look at. The ghosts looked amazing, and I really just dug that third act. Now, the trailers for this movie were really deceiving because it led the viewer to believe that this was a straight up horror movie, and it's not that at all. It's more of a gothic romance, and if you go in accepting that, then I think you'll have a really good time with it. Next up, I pulled out an old slasher. This is Valentine. When Scream came out in '96, there was just so many Millennium slashers that came out after, similar to what happened after Halloween came out in '78. This one came out, I believe, in the early 2000s, pretty much right at the tail end of that craze. And it really kind of went out with a whimper with this movie, Valentine. I think if you like straight up slasher movies, you'll enjoy this. It does have some really cool moments and it keeps you guessing all the way through, but it does have some problems. Unlikable characters. Actually, a lot of the characters you might get mixed up because there's 3 blonde-haired girls in this movie and they all look alike. But I thought the killer looked really cool in this movie. I thought the Cupid mask was kind of creepy. And overall, I had a pretty decent time with it. It's nothing great, but if you're a fan of slashers, then you'll probably dig it. And then finally, I closed it off with John Carpenter's immortal classic, The Thing. This is one of the greatest horror movies to ever be viewed. I already did a lengthy review on this movie. I also did a Mondo Steelbook unboxing, and I can't praise this movie enough. This is the type of movie that gives horror fans hope that there are great stories out there. like it follows. So many horror movies owe such a huge debt to John Carpenter and what he created, and one of the great masterpieces that he created was The Thing. If you want a lesson in perfect directing, tension, paranoia, and some of the creepiest and most amazing practical effects you will ever see on film, look no further than The Thing. Well guys, that is week 3. I've been having so much fun sharing all my horror viewings with you guys. I also want to thank all my guests that have been so giving and taking time out of their very busy schedules, because I know it's October and any horror YouTuber is going to be busy as hell during this month, like myself. So I gotta say thank you to those guys who came out and said, you know what, yeah, Lee, I'll help you out on your channel. And you've just made this awesome. And I have some more very special guests planned for the next couple of weeks. I'm looking forward for you guys to see what's coming. So guys, don't forget, go down in the comments and let me know what you guys watched this past week. Looking forward to hearing it. So anyway guys, thanks for watching. Subscribe to my channel, follow me on Facebook and Twitter, and Drumdum out.